we finally had a little bit of melt. The snow I'm walking through is now only about 2 feet tall. And it's only compacting. I probably only compacted about a foot. But I've made it out to some trees, and I've wanted to showcase a little bit this season some of the heights of our fruit trees specifically. So specifically, it isn't a fruit tree, but it's going to give you a good idea. There's this guy right here. These tulip trees, they're roughly from the ground, I'd say around 4 to 5 feet tall. They have a really cool bud structure. Actually, let me show you this quickly. First, super fun, large, almost like flat buds. I don't know how close that's going to work on the front camera, but nonetheless, super fun buds on those guys. But this size tree, that is this tulip tree, is roughly the approximate size of a 9mm bare root tree. And so you'll see for a lot of our apple trees, a lot of our pear trees, we post them by caliper, and that is sort of the diameter of the trunk. So for example, down here, the thickness of the stem, that is the caliper. And in this case, these aren't quite, well, they're probably pretty close to 9mm actually, bare roots. And so any 9mm bare root on our website of apple trees, pear trees, or any sort of deciduous tree is going to be roughly this size. Again, I don't know if you can see me standing next to it here. There's the top of it. Now, keep in mind, I'm standing on a bit of snow, but it'd be like up to sort of my nose normally for a 9mm bare root. Now, if I wander just over here through the tall snow, this guy right here, who you can see towers well above me, this would be like a 20 or a 25mm bare root tree. This one specifically is a plum tree, and it is doing phenomenally. So it's one of the ones that's going to be available this spring. A 20mm bare root or a 15mm, those are the two sizes between the two. Those are going to be around 6 to 7 feet tall. And the main difference between them is going to be how much branching that you get. Ooh, as I fall over here in the snow. So a 15mm tree is going to have just a little bit of branching started. I might be able to get across. I have to go over that way. Give me a second here, and I might be able to get there. Ooh, I can step on the tables. Ooh, all right. Ooh. So here we have, what's this guy? Does he say? He's an early golden plum right here. And this would be a 20mm. So you see you've got decently substantial side branching, decently substantial upper branching, whereas a 15mm isn't going to have that quite as much. There are some exceptions, and actually here's a, what's this guy? A vampire plum. He's got decent branching there, despite the fact that he's probably even just a 9mm tree. But here again, you can see the height difference. So this little twig, here's the tip of it, is roughly 6 feet tall as a 9mm, and then the 20mm plums behind are a good 8 to 10 feet tall. And that gives you a rough idea. I know it's not the best. We're going to try and take more pictures once we open for the season to showcase a bit better some of the heights of things. Here's actually an area where the wind keeps blowing the ground away. You can see it's kind of dark here with the soil rushing over from the neighbor's farm. Here is, this is even thicker still, probably a 30mm bare root. You can see the thick, where's my hand there? Thick trunk on this guy. And that is a good 4 feet taller than me there. It's taller than my 2 water totes here stacked together. So we're looking at 9 to 10 feet. One thing to keep in mind for a lot of the bare roots, particularly for things that tall, is that they also have roots on them. And so when you're picking up a 30mm bare root tree, you're looking at something that is itself 10, 11 feet tall, and then it's going to have another foot minimum, maybe 2, of root system on it. And so you'll need to allow a lot of space in your vehicle So if you have a smaller vehicle, pick up a 9 or a 15 mil tree. If you have like a truck or a van, you want something like instant apples kind of thing, go with the 20 mil. You'll get fruit in the second year. Now there is some exceptions to that rule. Right over here, I have these guys here. These are these are Scarlet Sentinel apple trees. This is the 20 mil variety, and they're only about 4 feet tall. And if you pick up a 9 mil of the Scarlet Sentinel, it's only going to be about 1 foot to 1.5 feet. And the main reason for that is that these are like super dwarf trees. They stay really, really thin. Maximum width on these apple trees, the Scarlet Sentinel and the Golden Sentinel varieties, is going to be about 3 feet wide. They still get fairly tall, around like 10-ish feet tall, but the width is really, really thin. They're great for making sort of those small towers, small columns of apple trees in your backyard. They also work in containers, but you won't get near the same amount of fruit as you would with a full-out apple tree. I know you probably couldn't see that all that well, but just to summarize, a 20 mil apple tree is going to be about 6 to 8 feet tall, 15 mil somewhere between 5 and 7, and a 9 is somewhere between 4 and 6. For fruit production, a 9 mil tree, you're looking at around 1 to 3 years. Whereas with a 15, it's like 1 to 2, and a 20 mil tree is usually going to try and give you fruit in the first year, but I recommend you cut those blooms off, let it keep its energy in the tree for that season, and then it can give you some fruit the next year. I hope that helps. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal melt and bracing for more snow that's coming. Check out the website. We have a lot of fun new tree varieties in this season, including one that I'm really, really excited about. It is the native crabapple. We just secured, I think, 20 trees of it from another grower. That's all they could spare for this season. So we're going to have probably 12 of them to sell, because I'm going to probably plant 8 myself. I don't know if it's on the website yet. If not, we'll make sure that we get it up tomorrow. And then maybe all this week, we'll start a series of trees and new plants that I'm most excited about for this season. So stay tuned for that this week. And if you didn't see our post from yesterday, Leanne made a phenomenal post there about the Growing Green event in Rockland. Come out and see us in Rockland. We have a phenomenal selection of seeds packed up and ready to go. There's still a couple outstanding seeds that we brought in new from Dam Seeds this year. So if you've ordered one of those, we've reached out to you. We've told you we don't have them yet. We're hoping that they arrive this week or early next and get them out to people as soon as possible. Again, if you ever change your mind, if you want your order shipped in the meantime because you're waiting on 1 or 2 things, let us know. We can make a small change to your order. We can either take those seeds out or ship it in 2 batches, or pick up in 2 batches, whatever you need. Get in touch. We're always willing to work with people if you have any questions. And then, check out the seeds, like I said, at the Growing Green event this weekend, as well as at Russell Flea on March 22nd. That should be the first time that we have absolutely everything, absolutely nothing missing at the March 22nd Russell Flea. Thank you guys for watching and walking around with me as I slip and stumble over the snow and ice. And I will see you at an upcoming market, and I can't wait to see everyone again in the spring.